Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm super bored today, so I figured I'll make a video saying something or other. I always have a proclivity for talking about serious stuff, so I felt like today it was important to do something different, to just chill, to inquire of everyone else how they're doing today, and not worry about my compassionate element of my personality, worrying about world problems or issues that I can do nothing to change. You know? It's an overcast day today. When the sunshine is not beaming, trust me, I do not know what to do with myself. Man. It's one thing that I love about switching area codes, you know, going from a place where I spent the majority of my life thus far that has up and down weather, long periods of intense cold weather, to being somewhere like it's perpetually summer year round. You know, to the point where like today, when it's not hot as Hades out, this is a one-off. You know. But it's still enjoyable. I'm in a short sleeve shirt and shorts, so. What's been on my heart the most is being able to, excuse me, let me get a drink. That didn't come out yet. LOL. No editing. I'm not gonna go back and fix that because I'm a regular real dude. I'm not on here to be modeling or making movies. So I'm here to chop it up. As I began to state, what's on my mind the most is just being able to enjoy these times, man. I think that is a very crucial and often overlooked part of all this madness, man. It's that however you can manufacture your happiness, it's incumbent upon you to do so, man. I truly believe, like, if I was a miserable person or an unhappy person, that these times would have been unbearable, man. I don't have to do too much investigation on that matter just because I used to be a miserable person. You know? And I can sense the difference in myself. You know? It's comforting. There's a minuscule part that's disconcerting because I know from following Twitter hashtags and Instagram and Facebook that this is not everyone's experience. But I wholeheartedly believe that that perception of this whole situation lies within your hands, you know? I have found this to be a tremendous refuge for self-improvement and working on things that I may have overlooked, you know, especially as it pertains to very small things about myself. I've also realized, like, if I make a video that is fluff, that has nothing serious, like possibly take my shirt off or something, that it'll get more views. But when I'm talking about something serious or deep, people have time for that within themselves and within their own sphere, but maybe not so much in regards to carrying that with other people. Nina. Hey, I don't want to hear that all day long. Drive me up a wall, you little turkey butt. I should flip the camera around and show you these fools. And they're too cool for school Pitbull t-shirts. They crack me up. She ain't doing nothing but licking her paw pad. There's nothing on it. There's no cuts or scrapes. She's just licking it. I imagine that parents are going through this times 20. If my two pets are getting on my nerves and you got 4 or 5 kids, you're probably ready to hide out in the laundry room and lock the door. Smoke a Newport 100 or something. Upon further reflection, though, I have such a small zone for small talk or BS. Like, things always gravitate in my mind to the bigger picture, not just myself, but as it regards to others. And we won't know until later on down the road, but it's obvious to me, man, like, people still haven't grasped the totality of all this, how long it's really gonna last, what are the lasting ramifications, not just for those who recovered and have damage to their body, but those who have lost people. because I truly get a sense that there are large segments of the American population that somehow believe that this is close to being over when this isn't even the end of the beginning, man. That's why I have this going on right now. This is not a quarantine beard. This is a good luck beard. You know, for our species. Oh man. Think about how the powers that be here, whether you vote red or whether you vote blue, have mismanaged this to the umpteenth degree. And this bleep storm that we're witnessing, if it's happening to the richest nation in the world, imagine what it's going to be like in some of these developing nations. It may be hard to fathom, but there are countries that are going to undergo this that have less than 10 ventilators total for their entire country. I researched a country today that has less than 30 medically qualified graduate doctors to help with this in a country of over 5 million people. I think what's going to contribute to despair and suffering is that at times like these, our country typically steps up and plays a big role, especially when helping other countries who either lack the resources or the personnel to mitigate some of these circumstances. That's where we usually step in the gap and help with either funding or logistics, facilitating people from here or from other places to get to and fro, like we did with Ebola. And unfortunately for those places, our isolationist, fervently nationalistic government is going to provide no safe haven for these other places. In fact, I mean, it's not about me picking lotto numbers. I predict that the current administration will do everything they can to not help other places. They'll help some European countries or do what they can for those nations, but Latin American, South American, Caribbean, African countries, Hispanic or Spanish-speaking majority countries are going to be left out in the wind. Just like we did with the U.S. territory when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, which they still have not recovered from. And had we had a different person pulling the strings or calling the shots, that would not be the case. One of the only comforts I can take about the whole scenario is I did my part. I begrudgingly voted for the Democratic candidate just because I knew what this man was capable of. And it's mystifying how the DNC believes that their hand-picked candidate is going to do anything to this dude. He's going to summarily lose. I'm going to waste my time voting and just have to hope that 4 more years of this politician does not result in the for real end of the world. It is mind-boggling to try to take in, especially when writing it down, trying to take in all of the things that he's done that are either counterproductive, destructive, or downright indifferent. You know, these actions. I don't always rely on digital. Sometimes I'll do paper, but when you jot it out like that and then you look at it, it's like, man, everything from the Paris Climate Accords to the Iran nuclear deal to giving Israel carte blanche to commit war crimes and look the other way, to trying to take out democratically elected presidential regimes through force and then pretend like they didn't know nothing about it. And trust me, I don't have this complexion by accident. I got a lot of family members that voted for him. Yeah. None of the ones that look like me though, but it's neither here nor there. But I just can't help but think, like, say you can't go back, you can't go forward, but just as a hypothetical, any other Republican candidate that would have won, would we be sitting here today under these circumstances? I think it's not a stretch to say that we might still be in a stay-at-home mode, but the number of goofs and blunders and deaths and infections, it wouldn't be the same. You know? I'm not going to speak for how the candidate I voted for would have handled it, because that's something we don't know, but let's just say I had to settle for another Republican. Anybody that has a warm brain and sitting in the driver's seat can do better than what this dude is doing. And it's like, doing daily workouts or cleaning the house or walking the dogs or playing the game, and none of that can truly get you away from these outside circumstances, you know. Because I've heard people say that your ballot doesn't count and it don't matter, and you can look at the things he's done, and if you try to sit here and say that it has not had a direct effect on you, you are a complete liar. Yeah. All I can say is hopefully we don't end up in some Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome stuff. Because I like being peaceful, happy me. I don't want to have to go into no alter ego crap to survive. Meanwhile, the normal everyday TDM is still in place. Like how I keep ordering a part for my cell phone, and no matter where I order it from, it keeps sending me the wrong one. So this is the third time I've gotten the part and only to plug it up or check it out and it don't work. And now I gotta go chase down the postal delivery carrier. Be like, hey bro, come get this, man. I got the wrong thing. Well, I'm really tired of seeing me. Hopefully that things like this, I mean, the dynamic is already changing, but hopefully this aspect of modernity that I'm communicating to you on today can bring people closer, man. You know, because we're a product of our environment, man. I've spent these good years of my life realizing that all those years of my life prior, where it was an adversarial relationship with the rest of the world, that it was not productive. And I feel like mediums like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are, for the most part, being manipulated to further increase fissures in our society. When I'm sure the first geek that sat down and started writing about creating this envisioned a more utopian slice of this reality for devices like this and social media and networking and interwebs and so on and so forth. You know? But I don't even care if I'm one of very few that are like still rooting for humanity and want us to love each other rather than hurt each other. You know, rather than do each other wrong or let wealth inequality be the death of thousands of people in our country when it doesn't have to be that way. I know I'm not alone, but I also know I'm in a small minority. People are so trained since the womb to only focus on what you got going on, only what's in front of you, what affects your loved ones or you specifically. People in general or the public at large are others, you know, and should be dealt with as such. And as a consequence, that kind of toxic thinking pervades every part of our society, from our politics to our business to everything. all these people that are already wealthy right now fighting tooth and nail to bring their businesses back up and running. For what? Our economy's already dust. And I'm here to say, like, if it does come back, it's going to be years, dude. So you rushing to get your stuff back up is throwing rocks at a wall of water, you know? And it feels like an ominous storm cloud on the horizon where greed is going to supersede common sense. And the least capable among us are going to be a victim of that corporate greed. Well, what do I know? I hope y'all have a good day. Holla at me, man.